Hello everyone, welcome to the very first Mando Mondays, and these are going to be based off of the episode following the Friday before, and these will be coming out every Monday, and these are going to be collabs with Marvel Theory and Derpy Boy, and this one is going to be with Marvel Theory. This Mando Monday, the very first Mando Monday, is going to be with Marvel Theory, and the next one is going to be with Derpy Boy. And I really hope you guys enjoy this series of collabs. So let's get into it. So Marvel Theory, the ending was pretty insane.
It was.
Yeah, we saw Tamira Morrison, who is the actor of Jango Fett, who cloned Boba Fett. So we're gonna see Boba Fett in episode 2.
And so, how do you think he escaped the Starlack?
Well, we saw, in episode 1, we saw the crate dragon that was in an abandoned Sarlacc pit. So an abandoned Sarlacc pit is possible. So, and Jawas were able to scavenge Boba Fett's armor. So if the armor survived, although the armor is stronger than human skin and bone, or flesh, but if the armor survived, Boba Fett could have survived. And what I'm thinking is that the Sarlacc pit was abandoned by the Sarlacc, and then after that, Boba Fett escaped, and then he survived. He started hunting, and then he just traveled around Tatooine, basically kind of Cod Van's story, or the sheriff in episode 1 who wore Boba Fett's armor. Mos Pelgo was attacked by the mining guild. So then they took over, and then he escaped with a crystal, which is worth lots of credits. And then he sold the crystal Jawas found him. He sold crystals to the Jawas, and then they gave him the Boba Fett armor. So what I'm thinking is that Boba Fett, he obviously lost his armor. So he was separate. So after he was eaten by the Sarlacc, him and his armor were separated, and we can see his armor is way more messed up in the Mandalorian, but he probably found Jawas or something, and then maybe betrayed them, or he got food from them, and then he got guns from them, and then started living on his own.
Well, the real question is, why has he not left Tatooine?
Well, so obviously, Slave 1, his ship Slave 1, was...
Yes.
Well, it was left on Tatooine, and most likely it sank into the sands of Tatooine, because when a surface gets hot enough on the Tatooine, or on Tatooine sands, it starts melting and sinking whatever's on top. So I think that might have what happened with Slave 1. Or I think it's Slave 2, I'm not sure, but that's what happened to his ship. And then he couldn't find his ship, so he couldn't escape the island. And he was probably looking for his armor before he left. And we also saw Easter eggs, we saw blue milk. We saw the blue milk that Cod Vans was drinking with the Mandalorian, and the mining guild was drinking when Cod Vans attacked with Boba Fett's armor. And then but then they actually called it Scotchva, like vodka, but Scotchva.
Yeah, be sure that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like I thought it was blue milk, and then I was looking back at the episode, and then he called it Scotchva. So it's not blue milk, which was surprising to me, because blue milk has made lots of Easter eggs through Star Wars, like in Star Wars games and in Star Wars video games, and then its first appearance in A New Hope.
There was also, I'm not 100% sure if this is actually true, but I was looking back at when Mando and the Marshal were riding their speed buggies like down the sand to the Tusken Raiders, and the Marshal's like ship. It seemed like it was Anakin's pod racer.
Yeah, the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that too, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think about that it was Anakin's part of Anakin's pod racer. But that would actually be cool to see them kind of confirm that it's part of Anakin's pod racer, because I think he like scavenged like part of a pod racer from the race of Anakin, but we'll have to go back in the Phantom Menace to see. But it's definitely a part of pod racing, and pod racing was banned. I'm pretty sure it was banned after Order 66, or when the Empire was established, because we saw after that, in the original trilogy and in like video games and TV shows, we've never seen a pod race. So I think they banned pod racing, and then so it has to be from like Anakin's race or before.
But we did also get to see an appearance by Pelimoto.
Yeah.
From the guns.
Yeah, so I was thinking that Mando was going to Tatooine to either get Pelimoto's help or find Boba Fett. And so he landed on Pelimoto's little station area. So there's that, but he didn't want her to take care of the child. Well, I get that too, but yeah, I was hoping that we would see another appearance of Pelimoto, and although it was like 1 minute and kind of small, I was like glad to see that she actually made an appearance.
What really surprised me was when Mando goes back to Tatooine, he lets the droids clean his ship after he says he does not believe in droids, and that probably was influenced by the droid
IG-11.
Yeah,
I noticed that too. Yes, I think it was because he trusts more trust droids after IG-11, because now he knows it's like based on their programming, because separatist droids attacked his home and then he hated droids, but then IG-11 saved his kid, I guess you could call Baby Yoda his kid, and yeah. So then he thought, just based on their programming, so yeah. And Pelimoto noticed that too.
I noticed that there were a couple references to Return of the Jedi, like the space wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
The two that were fighting it out.
Yeah, the Gamorreans, which they protected. They were the guards of Jabba the Hutt's palace, or Jabba's palace. And then we also saw the destruction of the Death Star in Tatooine's point of view.
And we also saw a Twi'lek at the beginning when they were outside of the fight venue at the Space Fight Club.
Yeah, what I also noticed was, so the red eyes, that basically they're afraid of light.
Mm-hmm.
So they were actually in Rebels, and Sabine and Hera, I think, Sabine and Hera, they had to fight off them, and they were afraid of light. So I think these are just like portioned down, or maybe not portioned down, maybe like same size, but they were in Rebels as well, because in Rebels we saw that they didn't like light, their eyes glowed red, and they made that noise. And then we also saw that in the Mandalorian, and then ate the Grinch with one eye, I like to call him, with the green dude with one eye.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, his name was Gor Koresh.
Oh, wow, Gor Koresh. I didn't know that.
And an interesting thing was when he said, like, I swear by the Gatra. And so I actually had to research about this, and it actually, it was a droid's right movement. And it was a confusing scene, in my opinion.
Yeah, so apparently it was a setup for, or the first ever scene when he met up with the green dude.
Mm-hmm.
That first scene was basically a setup to get Beskar steel and get rich off of it. So I think that the green dude wasn't really going to help find Boba Fett. But the interesting thing is that he knew that Boba Fett was on Tatooine, and he
thinking about the Marshal as a Mandalorian, thinking he was a Mandalorian.
Yeah, true. But then again, Pelimoto, she said that no one visits that place. Like, no one goes there. No one comes in, no one comes out. So
yeah.
I think that is what. So then, and he also knew, and he probably doesn't go to Tatooine. So he had to have known someone that knows about Boba Fett, because I don't think anyone knows about the Marshal wearing Boba Fett's armor, unless, or this is a, oh, never mind, because like the Mining Guild, remember, the Mining Guild, that was them framing or setting up Mando, and then the Mining Guild, they were scared off by Boba Fett. So yeah, that does make sense. So he got the Mining Guild to attack Mos Pelgo, and then the Marshal wore Boba Fett's armor, scared them off, and then they notified the green dude. So that makes sense.
Or, well, the real question is Boba Fett gonna be a hero or a villain?
Yeah, that's the thing, and I honestly think that he's gonna be an ally or a hero, cause Mando is basically getting him his armor back, which, and then he will do a favor of finding Jedi for him, although Boba Fett doesn't really like Jedi from the original saga with Luke Skywalker, but it's still a possibility that he could help out. Because I don't think Boba Fett would turn on Mando, or maybe just like turn his back on him.
That could be a possibility, yeah.
Did you see any other Easter eggs or like things to point out?
Well, I only got one thing left in. There was this word that Mando said. He said, he said the phrase, "Thank Ferric, that was close." And so I thought that he also said this in the first episode of season 1, and I don't know what it means, but I honestly possibly think it's like a Mandalorian swear word or something.
Yeah, that could be. The Marshal, right? The Marshal said that?
No, Mando said that.
Oh, man, I thought it was the Marshal, but yeah, Mando. I think that may be the first ever Mandalorian to wield, or the first ever Jedi Mandalorian to wield the Darksaber, but I'll have to do more research on that.
Alright.
So I think that wraps up the first recreated Mando Mondays, Imperial Theory Mando Mondays, joined by Marvel Theory and Derpy Boy. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next Mando Mondays.